Hi guys, my name is Henry Elmore, and today we're going to be making some steak with rosemary aioli, a little sauce Diane, roasted potatoes, sauteed broccolini, salad with some fresh salad dressing. Let's dive right in. We're going to start off with making our croutons for our salad, which I think is always a critical step in serving a salad, is always making sure you have fresh, always fresh. And then they're just going to go into an oven at 375 for a little bit. Typically what you would do with homemade croutons is you'd let them dry out overnight so that they get a little stale on the surface, so that when you do go to toss them in your olive oil and your seasonings, they don't absorb as much. But I like to do it fresh because I do like when they absorb that oil and seasoning a little bit more. You can just tear the bread up and then make croutons that way. I'm just gonna toss it with a little olive oil, a little salt, a little pepper, some garlic powder. Like the one girl from Ratatouille said, keep your station clear. Another one of my favorite little tools I got, it's a Ban stainless steel. I actually got it while I was thrifting. While I was thrifting, I found 2 Heston quarter sheet pans. They retail for about 130 bucks. I got it for 12 for 2. Gonna do a little bit of basil, all right. Use some fresh cracked black pepper. I want to toss that together, all right and nice. Typically, you don't want your sheet pan to be as full as this one is. Fresh Parmigiano Reggiano from the store. I think it was early 2000s, something like that. There was a crisis with the Parmigiano Reggiano industry. There was an earthquake, a large earthquake that hit the Italian region of Parma. All of the Parmesan got knocked over on the shelves. All the cheese got knocked over. It almost eradicated the entire Parmesan industry. 375, and we're gonna let that sit for about 10 minutes. So we got some rosemary leaves for a rosemary aioli here. And if you don't have fresh rosemary in hand, that's okay. Just mix some dried rosemary flakes with like some warm water or warm oil to help, release those herbaceous qualities again. And we're just gonna slice these up, because every single slice that you make bruises the herb and releases those good smelling pheromones. And that's gonna give us a nice solid flavor for our aioli. We're also gonna save a little bit for our Italian dressing. We got our broccolini here. Got some nice broccolini from Kroger. Very delicious. It's a baby kind of broccoli, but it's just a little fancier. Looks better on a plate and whatnot, and it grills up better. You can always save the stems for a stock or anything that you do with broccoli. We're just gonna sear this off later with a little bit of garlic, some salt, pepper, olive oil, finish it off with some butter. And how we're gonna dress our salad, we got, of course, we got some tomatoes, cucumber right here, some shallots we're gonna top with, and some nice Parmesan. So we got English cucumber here. English cucumber I always think is the best. Also, chop off the ends, eat them, it's good. I don't like the wet insides, so I scoop them out. You can always keep it. It doesn't really matter. It just saves some extra moisture in your salad in the later step. It keeps them from getting soggy, and it keeps them delicious. And then you always want to make sure you thinly slice these, okay? I made the mistake once of doing diced veggies in a salad, and it was horrible. I was scooping it out with a spoon at the end, and I was quite annoyed. And I was just in San Francisco. Shout out Bernal Cutlery. All right, sponsor, please. I love you guys. Josh, you weren't there when I went there, and I really wanted to meet you, right? You're like a celebrity in my eyes, okay? You're like equivalent to Taylor Swift. Also, same with Joshua Weissman. All right, if you want to do a collab, I'd love to do a collab. You taught me all I know about cooking, and yeah, so. Ooh, some nice hothouse tomatoes. We love a hothouse tomato. They're delicious, good flavor, juiciness, nice and plump. So I'm just gonna go through don't mind that. This is my meal anyways. So we're gonna make sure, we're gonna slice these in half now. Peel the outside. Always make sure you get the outside layer off because it's kind of gross. Shallots are delicious, different from onions. Have a nice little sweet note to them. Throw them in a bowl. Come over to the sink. That's gonna rinse off all the bite, all the spiciness to that onion. And it's gonna, when you go to eat it, it'll make it nice and mellow. It'll mellow out that flavor. We're gonna drain our shallots really quick. Time to check on our bread. All right, we're looking good. There we go. We're gonna go back into the oven. Cut that out. And then we're gonna let that sit for a little bit. And here, we're gonna take our onions, throw them on the towel. We're just gonna pat them dry, nice and dry. We got some mayo here, Hellmann's. I didn't wanna make my own mayo. Don't hate on me, okay? We're gonna start on our aioli first because aiolis are delicious. So we're just gonna take some mayo. I don't provide measurements. Don't hate me, please. Just gonna do a little pinch of salt, a little black pepper in there. Always use fresh cracked, never pre-cracked. When you bruise them beforehand, it releases all of its scents. So you lose all that good flavor. So you always wanna make sure you do freshly ground, freshly cracked black pepper. And then we'll take the zester. Zest just a little bit of lemon zest in there. We're gonna save this for later. One, we're gonna be using it in our salad dressing. Two, we're gonna be using it to finish off the veggies. Lemons and veggies go great together. So I'm just gonna squeeze some lemon juice in there. All right, so next up, we've got some nice Dijon mustard. Smells amazing. Tastes amazing. We love Dijon mustard, guys. It's awesome. And then just a little splash right there of our balls. Throw some more rosemary in there. And we're just gonna take some garlic here, mince it, chop it, rough chop, finely chop. You can make a paste out of it. Just smash your garlic and throw it in something. Or you can just slice it. Anybody that is Filipino loves arroz caldo. Arroz caldo is always eaten into the good year for good luck, or into the new year for good luck. Right before New Year, you always want to make sure you eat it before 12 o'clock so you have good luck into the new year. Because Filipinos are very superstitious. You got some soy sauce in there. You always finish it off with what's called toyo and lemon. Toyo and lemon is delicious. It's literally just soy sauce and lemon juice, and we eat it with everything. So now we got our sauce, we got our aioli. We're gonna taste and adjust for seasonings. Always taste every single step of your cooking. Smell it, smells good. Maybe use a little more. Garlic powder adds another level of complexity to your dishes when paired with fresh garlic. This is due to the fact that that water has been removed, so you're eating pure garlic in its form. That is banging. That's gonna go with our roasted potatoes and our broccolini. Now, up next is our dressing. Grab yourself some eggs. I have a tool for this. Let's see. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Slotted spoons are great. You need to have one in your kitchen at all times. 2 egg yolks out of the bowl. Now, egg white is the only part of the egg that actually contains salmonella in them. So you can eat straight up egg yolk. Let's throw just a little pinch of red pepper flakes. A pinch. Okay. I'm gonna season this up. Some onion powder. We don't have Italian seasoning because we forgot to get it. Onion, garlic, some pepper. Oh, I am gonna need more pepper flakes. Like that. We got some oregano. Got some basil, parsley flakes, some rosemary leaves, some coriander. And then we've got some thyme. You always need more thyme, man. Look at that. Look at that flavor bomb right there. That's what's gonna really make our dressing, okay? Red wine vinegar. Red wine vinegar provides that perfect amount of acidity for, see, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks bad right now. This is my variation of an Italian dressing. Going with some fresh Parmesan. Okay. Always fresh grated. So you never ever, whenever you're using it as a melting factor, you never ever want to use pre-grated cheese ever. So here we go. We got those in there. We're gonna throw just a little bit of shallots. Going a little bit of Dijon mustard. We're just gonna grate some lemon zest into this. I'm going to go in with about that much olive oil. See, look, we got a nice thick sauce going here, and then we're gonna taste. Always taste. And then now we got our salad dressing. Now we're gonna dive straight into our broccolini and our roasted potatoes. So we're gonna set our pan on a high heat. In the meantime, we're going to prep our potatoes. Make sure you wash your freaking potatoes, dude. They're gross. Now, anything that goes into the pan, it needs to go in dry. That is due to the Maillard reaction. That is the caramelization of the sugars on the surface of your food. That's how you get the nice and crispy bits. We just threw some garlic powder in there, some olive oil, some fresh parsley. We're gonna go with a little bit of rosemary. We're also gonna finish it off with some rosemary at the end, but I wanna make sure it cooks with some rosemary, just to get a nice flavor in there. Joël Robuchon, one of the most famous chefs of all time, he had 31 Michelin stars, and he had a rule: he never combined more than 3 flavors on one plate. Mother Nature is the artist, and it kind of reinforces that belief that we are just a cook. We're putting together what Mother Nature created: food, music, and dances, and art. It's the backbone to every single culture. I'm Asian, so I love my Asian foods. But anyways, there's kosher salt, there's flaky sea salt, and then there's table salt. Table salt's the really fine salt that you get at the store and what's in the salt grinders. That's the salt you want to finish your food with if you're at the table and somebody prefers a little bit more salt in their dishes. So we're going to take our potatoes, since they're going to take the longest, we're going to go right into the pan with a little bit of oil. So we're going to go into the pan with our oil, and we're going to let those cook off, get a nice crust, and then we're going to throw in some liquid later to help them steam, help them get the rest of the way in that cooking process. We're just going to let these cook like this, real nice, and then we're going to finish them in the oven later, because who doesn't love oven finished foods? And the piece de resistance, our steak. This is a nice ribeye I got from Kroger. Private selection, always private selection. Here's a nice, delicious croutons. These are looking about done, I think. I'll just mix them around a little bit. We got our steak. You always want to have your steaks tempered to room temp. Now what this means, an hour before you cook it, pull it out of the fridge. What it'll do, you're gonna get a nice crust on it. You're gonna get a better crust because you're not coming from here to here, or you're not coming from here to here. You're coming from like here to here. You want to singe your eyebrows off, boy? Do that a few more times. I'll cook my eyebrows clean off because of that. We don't want any sort of moisture on the steak whatsoever when it goes down. So leave that there. Rub that down. Lubricate, always lubricate your meat. Salt, heavy on the salts. Okay. Now I'm gonna go down with a little bit more oil again. That was too much, it's okay. Black pepper. Now there is some controversy over whether or not to pepper your steak before or after you cook. I personally like to go before and after. Salt, pepper, garlic powder. Remember that. We're just gonna slice these up, all right? For our sauce Diane, we're gonna need some more shallots. Just gonna rough chop. Some garlic. Take about yay amount of cloves, or smash them. One of these, throw that in there. Throw our garlic, skin and all. I'm gonna throw some thyme in there. I like red pepper, so throw a little bit of oil in there. Have to coat the pan. I'm gonna go steak in away from us. And there we go. Steak goes in. And get a nice sear on that. I'll take our rosemary. And then also, a good tell of when your steak is done is when it does move easily like that. That means everything's good and crispy on the bottom. Come on this way. Oh yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's a good steak right there. And then we're gonna pull our potatoes out because those are now done. And this pan is gonna be hot, so we gotta be careful. And we're gonna wanna go back into the pan with them once to get that nice crispiness. Now those smell delicious. Now realistically, I probably should have sliced these a little bit, got a little bit more surface area. And we'll get a nice flip on there. Yeah, buddy, that's a good steak right there. Now, I don't have any chef's press, so simple solution. Just take a pan and press it down. Actually, add a little bottle of wine on top. And then once we get our veggies on, we're gonna get our salad prepped. And come on, come look at that steak. Look at that crust right there. Yeah, look at that crust. That is some of the black from this, so don't mind that. Actually, I'm gonna take that off because the more you press on it, the more juices you're gonna release. But it's okay because we're basting it, so it'll save it a little bit. And then I'm gonna feel this. Yeah, that's still nice and rare on the inside. Nice knob of butter. The herbs. With our broccolini. And now, got our steak, right? You want to baste it real nice. Oh, shit. I almost forgot about our rosemary. I want to baste it. And this is delicious. This is how you make a really good steak, right? All right, so now we're gonna pull this steak with everything on it, right? I'm gonna leave all of our herbs and stuff on there. We're gonna let that steak rest, and then we're gonna do our sauce Diane in this exact same pan when it's done. I'm gonna let this rest down here. Warm oven, not hot, warm. Now the key to resting your steak, you really wanna make sure you rest your steak for one of two reasons. One, when you rest it, you're gonna soak all those juices back up into the steak and it'll keep the steak staying nice and juicy. If not, when you go to slice your steak, then your steak's gonna, all that juice is just gonna run onto your pan and it's not gonna do that. Second of all, it locks in all those flavors, all those delicious flavors. You wanna make sure you get locked in, or else you're gonna be losing it and then you won't even know. And then you're gonna be like, oh, well, why does my steak not taste so good? You cut it too early. So if you cooked it for 10 minutes, rest it for 5. If you cooked it for 15, rest it for 7.5. And we're gonna go in just some of our shallots and our garlic. The rest of it's gonna go in this pan, right, for our sauce. All right, you just wanna toast that a little bit. A little squeeze of lemon. I know I said don't get your cook station dirty and make sure you keep it clean. Well, I have not been doing that, so be better than me. So now I want to go in with a nice knob of butter. So now that's looking pretty done, so we're gonna pull it here in a second. Also, you always wanna make sure you don't over season, because just as bad as under seasoning is, over seasoning is just as bad because, well, you're just overpowering the natural flavors you already got going for you. And see, we got some nice char on there. Not burnt, it's charred, okay? It's literally flavor. Get those seared up again. And just a little bit, just a tad. We're gonna finish these off again. A nice little squeeze, some fresh lemon, and then a little bit of lemon zest, right? Well, as much as burnt and char is flavor, actual burnt is not. You love char, you don't like burnt. So we've got our bouillon here. That is delicious. This works in place of beef stock. Just a little splash of water. Just to help that. See, and that's starting to develop really nicely. We don't have cream, so we're just gonna use some milk. And then we'll let that thicken. Let it do its thing. And while it does that, we're going to finish it off with some salt and pepper. Here we go. Nice pinch of some salt with a little butt of lemon. Okay. We don't want to overcook the sauce, but we do want to reduce it down so that it coats the back of a spoon nicely. And that is delicious. So, I'm going to take some salad dressing and just look right in there, just like that. Just like that. I want to toss this all together. Make sure every leaf is well coated. You never, whenever you're tossing a salad, you never want to have a pool of dressing sitting at the bottom when you're done. So cucumbers on one side, sliced tomatoes on the other. I'll throw some of that on there. Some nice croutons. Not too much. Just want to have a nice little serving. I'm gonna freshly grate some Parmigiano Reggiano. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your finished salad. Time to plate. This is my favorite part and the best part of cooking. You're gonna go down, a little bit of rosemary aioli right there. Then we're just gonna go down on the plate. Nice swoosh. That sits nice and pretty on the plate. All right. Roasty toasty potatoes over here. Height is sexy. This is why girls want a guy that's 6'4" and not 5'2". Okay, so I'm gonna do just a little touch of a lemon butt. I want to make sure you clean your plate before you serve. Oh, the friggin' oven was too hot. It's all right. Still gonna be nice and juicy. Delicious. Have our sauce Diane. A little acid. Now we're gonna go right over our steak. That, ladies and gentlemen, is our finished products. But you have everything. You have your first course, your delicious salad with your homemade dressing and croutons. You have your starter with your broccolini and your roasted potatoes and your rosemary aioli. And then you have your final dish, the steak. All right, guys. So this is our finished dinner. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And I had a really fun time. Shout out to Max. Thank you so much for letting me do this and buying me this beautiful new chef jacket. I appreciate it. It's been fun. It's been amazing. Thank you guys so much. Love you all. Peace out.